Hello Winterbourne Witchy, welcome to Ceridwen's Corner of Conspiracy and Mysticism. Everything in this video is going to be covered by disclaimer of education and entertainment purposes only, as well as a copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, an allowance made for fair use. So, some of this will be based on my perspective, opinion and perception, and not all based on fact. This is Aleister Crowley, sometimes dubbed as the wickedest man and the beast 666. He was an occultist, a ceremonial magician, a Freemason, a mountaineer, with rumours that he was linked to the British Intelligence Secret Service. He founded the religion of Thelema, and allegedly he stated he could communicate with extraterrestrials, other realms, the dead, entities, including demons and the devil himself. He practiced rituals, and some of his literature included advice of the belief in human and animal sacrifice to reach the higher successes. However, he did also talk about if people were uncomfortable that they could use less harmful practices such as using incense, etc. So, I believe that Alistair was actually a conduit that was pushing the word out there of ancient rituals. And I will talk about this. One of his snapshots of literature says, "For the highest spiritual working, one must accordingly choose that victim which contains the greatest and purest force, a male child of perfect innocence and high intelligence." I find this highly disturbing. It is talking about taking someone's life energy and blood. This, to me, is such a dangerous message to be putting out there for people who are either desperate for success or have a very vulnerable mind, or is someone who would actually believe this is the main way to use magic. And it is not, because I have never harmed anything in my magical workings and I have had successes. And it's a bit of a misconception. He also became a self-proclaimed prophet and said that he would lead people through the Eye of Horus. And here is a quote from him. And as we know, many celebrities do rock the Eye of Horus. And also there is that linkage to the all-seeing eye in those conspiracy theories or theories when it comes to the Illuminati. So, coincidence? Maybe, but how many coincidences before it's not a coincidence? Here are some pictures of celebrities rocking the Eye of Horus. Then we have this interesting piece of information as well. Go and do your own research. That DNA of humankind is composed of 6 protons, 6 electrons and 6 neutrons. We do know that adrenochrome blood sacrifice is mentioned and bounced around a lot in theories, conspiracy theories, and we also know that many celebrities have tried to come forward talking about this happening. And also Alistair's practice talked about sex magic a lot and the exchange of energy through sex. So between sex and human sacrifice, it is very much in line with a lot that we hear that goes on. And I'm still going to go back to it, that celebrities seem to disappear when they raise their heads over the parapet or they start talking about things that are controversial. And celebrities, if you like, are influencers, as we know, and I believe that if you're not influencing things the way the world order, which it wishes for those things to be relayed, that's when I think these people get into trouble. So next we have Damien Eccles. So Damien Eccles is a very knowledgeable high magic practitioner. He runs the School of Magnus Opus, which is a 3-year course on high magic, and this course is fully booked. He does have a lot of celebrities follow his work and teachings, as well as the run-of-the-mill population of humanity. Many of you may know Damien Eccles as being on death row, with his 2 friends being on life sentences for the West Memphis 3 murders of 3 little 8-year-old boys who were horrifically murdered. Don't get my words twisted. I am not saying that Damien Eccles murdered them, and neither am I saying that he follows the darker practices of Aleister Crowley's work. But he does talk about Aleister Crowley's work. He does use a lot of Aleister Crowley's teachings and symbolism. A lot of celebrities backed the West Memphis 3, and Damien Eccles and his 2 friends took an Alfred plea deal and were released from their sentences. And Damien Eccles has become quite high profile, and you can go and look at his education and teachings, and that may be a way of you getting a broader perspective on some of the stuff I'm touching upon today. So Aleister Crowley sort of features, to this day. I believe Aleister Crowley was a conduit of information because his actual end of life was quite insignificant. He was addicted to substances and bankrupt. He was a Freemason, but I believe his ego got the better of him, and he wanted to be an elite leader of spiritual practices, and I think that is what his work was all about, his ego. This is Aleister Crowley on the Beatles album, Sgt. Pepper. So we know that John Lennon did take a different path away from the Beatles, and his religious outlook changed somewhat too. Unfortunately, he was murdered by a so-called stalker. Maybe a coincidence, maybe not. But some of their albums did rock an upside down cross on a rosary. Then we have David Bowie, who had a lot of the Golden Dawn symbolism from Aleister Crowley's work. He also said that he hallucinated and had a lot of fear around the devil living in his swimming pool. Then we have Alistair rocking the pyramid. And as we know, the pyramid is linked to the symbol of the Illuminati, the all-seeing eye. Many celebrities continue to do the pyramid symbolism. Here we have Aleister Crowley's former home in Loch Ness, Scotland, and this has a very dark history. It was built on religious ground, and there's a lot of bloodiness associated with this ground. And first, Crowley's housekeeper, his 2 children died mysteriously and abruptly. Crowley also bragged that one employee of the estate who had long abstained from alcohol got drunk and attempted to murder his entire family. What a thing to brag about. After the house had changed hands, it still wasn't free of dark energy. In 1965, the army major who owned the house committed suicide and unalived himself by shotgun. We have celebrities that have frequented the house, stayed in the house. We also have celebrities that have owned the house. And again, it's about this legacy that Crowley has left behind. Many people believe in the messages of his work. Here is Jimmy Page, the guitarist from Led Zeppelin, who's owned the house for a while. He was a fan of Crowley's work. He never kept that hidden. He never denied any fact about satanic worship or anything of the sort. So whether that be to promote his image or whether he did follow Aleister Crowley's work, who knows? And then also we have the religion that Aleister Crowley founded, which is the Thelema religion, and this was to raise man's consciousness to a higher level, specifically through the use of sex and drugs. Indeed, hedonistic pleasures were all important factors in Crowley's magic and rituals, allowing the magus to reach the recesses, or rather the outer limits of his being. His sex magic was intended as the fuel to power man to a new state of being, out of the cage of his socially conditioned ego. You pair this sex magic to human sacrifice. It says it all. Then one of his quotes is, "Do what thou wilt, shall be the whole of the law." And we also have celebrities who rock and promote part or all of this quote. Here is Jay-Z with it written over his hoodie. Could be a coincidence, might have no representation of Aleister Crowley whatsoever. I'm not here to say either way, you draw your own conclusions. Then we have his beautiful wife rocking the pyramid, as many celebrities do. And this is what keeps fueling those conspiracy theories. Many celebrities who come forward talking about all of this occultism in Hollywood and the music industry disappear. They all of a sudden are alive. Here, where you can see the yellow hand emoji, is pointing to another celebrity doing the Aleister Crowley image, the symbolism, the hand gesture from the photo at the beginning of this video. Is all of this coincidence? I'm going to let you decide and for you to do your research, but there is so much here to unpack that when you start going down this rabbit hole, more and more connections are made rather than things being debunked. But I think it's the sensationalism around conspiracies which works its magic, if you like, in this all sounding very unbelievable. However, as we know, all religions do have a right and a place in this world, and people can choose to follow and practice whichever they wish to choose. So, from Cerridwen, take care, have a wonderful morning, noon or night, wherever you are across the world. Blessings from Cerridwen.